Hi, I'm Jake Skin, host of the Boxed In podcast, proudly sponsored by Media Management. A link to their socials will be in the description. Now, in this episode of the podcast, I was delighted to be joined by former Central Area Featherweight champion from Hull, Connor Coghill. In the episode, me and Connor talk about his incredible fight with Hopi Price, coming to terms with his career ending injury, and his new role as a boxing coach and trainer. If you do enjoy the podcast, then please feel free to like and subscribe. Your support is massively appreciated. Hope you enjoy. Hi, I'm Jake Skin, host of the Boxing podcast, and in this episode, I'm delighted to be joined by Connor Coghill. Connor, how are you?
I'm good, thanks, mate.
Yeah, very good, thank you. So, what was the reason you started boxing? Is it something that runs in the family?
No, when I was about 10-year-old, my stepdad took me and my friend to St Paul's and just started sparring. We sparred each other and just loved it, just enjoyed it, and I've always stuck at it from then, really.
Do you have an inspiration in the sport?
In terms of...
Well, when you're sort of growing up, was there anyone that you looked up to as a role model?
When I started competing and stuff like that, there was obviously the likes of Tommy, Samir, Luke Campbell. There was like the older generation that we looked up to when we was training and competing. And Tommy and Luke used to travel with me when I was in the championships and stuff as a young kid, up and down the country, fighting in all these tournaments. So yeah, there was probably my inspiration when I was growing up.
What was that sort of like, travelling up with them? You said you look up to them now.
Yeah, it was good. We used to have some laughs. I was in the ABAs when I was 11. Schoolboys, they called it then. And yeah, I fought every single round up until the final, and they came with me every fight. It did Tommy and Samir. When we got on the train, went down on the train to London and pulling pranks on each other. We was in the car on the motorway. We ended up crashing on the motorway at one point. We had a bit of a journey, to be fair, but yeah, it was good. It was good to have him in my corner and supporting me.
What was your first memory of the sport?
My first memory, probably winding one of my mates with a body shot on my first ever sparring session. That was probably my first ever memory of that.
So most fighters dream of winning titles as a professional. What was it like when you won your first title against Kane Salvin?
It was good, yeah. It was a relief because I'd gone through a lot of lower level fights to get to that point. Just because the opportunities weren't there, and then COVID struck, so we had 2 years out from COVID, and it was just, I was ready for a title way before the Kane Salvin fight. We just didn't get the opportunities, so Steffi put on a show for me and created the show for me basically, and gave me a great opportunity for it. So when I won it, it was a big relief because I knew that I was pushing on then and I was ready for the big fights.
Were you happy with your performance in that fight?
No, I wasn't really. I could have performed a lot better, I believe. I didn't think I performed as good as I could have done. I think I did what needed to be done and what I had to do and won the fight. But if you watched my last fight, I was a lot better than I showed when I boxed for my first title. I wasn't fit enough and I wasn't good enough at the time. I just didn't train hard enough for the fight, which I should have done. And I regretted it, to be honest, because I should have made it a lot easier. That's no disrespect to Kane. Kane was a good fighter. He's won the Central Area before, so I just believed that I wasn't as good as I could have been on the night.
So after the Salmon fight, you take a stay busy fight. Then you get the opportunity to fight Hopi Price on the Wood versus Warrington card. How did that opportunity come about?
Well, we wanted the fight before it actually came. We wanted the fight before I had the takeover fight. It was just after the takeover fight that I had. Steffi put a contract or whatever you call it to matchroom for the fight and put my name forward for it, so to speak. So yeah, he put the name forward. they said that there was someone else in the mix for that fight, and they took a fight with James Beach instead of me. So the fight was already wanted and potentially going to happen. It got announced by a few media outlets, it got leaked, and a few people were saying that the fight's going to happen between me and Opie, and it never did. He took James Beach instead. So I kind of knew that the fight was there and going to happen. And then it was after the James Beach fight, a few months later, maybe like a month or two, we got the news that they accepted the fight and it's going to go ahead.
You talk about that, like with your fight getting leaked there, obviously that didn't happen, but what's that sort of like as a boxer with information sort of coming out before it gets announced? Is that something that you
it was like, I think someone posted a picture of me and Opie Price and said potentially on the cards this fight, and then when the fight was getting done and the deal was getting put together, they said, look, it doesn't help that it's been announced on social media already, which it could have been a bit of a kick in the teeth, but luckily the fight still came off and it still happened, just a bit later than expected. But I was ready for the fight, I wanted the fight, although everyone said it was a big fight, it was a big risk, and it was levels above me. I believed that I could have beat him, and I knew that I had to take risks, and I was ready for it. I wanted to do it, and I couldn't wait to fight.
So how did you find the build-up and the fight week? What was the experience like?
Oh, it was brilliant. Just the whole thing, the whole week. It was a great week. You know, everything from the media workout, the press conference. I was a part of it all, so it was great. It was a great opportunity, great experience. It didn't help that I got COVID last week at camp, and I had to go home for about 4 or 5 days and try and get better. So when I was on the Wednesday, when it was the open workout, I didn't feel 100% myself. But there's no excuses, you know. It didn't affect me in the fight. I don't believe. I felt like I was fit in the fight, and I felt like I performed the best I've ever performed. And although I didn't get the win, I still think that it was the best performance I've ever had.
Yes, I'm going to say you talk about it being a good performance, and I was inside for that fight. I do think you put on a very good performance, and you showed some great courage. How did you feel the fight was going prior to the stoppage?
I felt like the fight was going well. I got knocked down in the 6th. I got overconfident, jumped in and walked onto a good shot, and I brushed it off. I wanted it, and I felt like I was still in it. And then all the way through the fight, up until the last 10 seconds of the 11th round, I felt like I was in the fight and I could win it. I thought I just needed the 11th from the 12th, and I thought I was winning the 11th at the time. And then obviously I got knocked down in the 11th, and I didn't recover from that. I just couldn't get my legs underneath me. Although I felt alright, my legs just wouldn't hold me up, and everything that hit me after that, I just fell. My legs couldn't keep my weight up. I just didn't recover from it. Obviously I didn't know at the time, but I had a bleed on the brain, so it was probably not helping me for the end of the fight.
So obviously you talk about the bleed on your brain. What was your initial reaction when you found out about that injury?
I was devastated. I didn't even think about how severe it was, or whether they're going to operate, or if I'm going to be brain damaged. I just instantly, the first thing that came to my head is, right, that's it, I'll never fight again, I'm retired. So I was just devastated. I was gutted, because I knew whatever the outcome is, whether they say I'm going to get the all clear, whether I'm going to have to operate, whatever it may be, I knew that regardless, I'll never fight again. So I was gutted, I was heartbroken.
Did it take you a while to sort of come to terms with that? Never be able to fight again?
It's taken a long time, to be honest, and I'm still probably not 100% there. I still get the itch, and I keep telling myself, well, maybe go get checked out properly and see if I'm alright to fight again, because I've done it for so long and it just feels I feel a bit lost without it. But at the same time, I'm keeping myself busy with my gym, training, coaching, and it's keeping my mind off it, and I'm happy with what I'm doing now. So it's making me happy with my new career.
So after the injury, did you always want to stay in boxing through coaching?
Oh yeah,
and fitness?
without doubt. While I was still recovering, even when I was in the hospital, I was thinking, what do I do now? Where do I go? What path do I choose? And that's when I said to myself, right, I'm going to get my license, start training fighters, and open my own gym. And I did exactly that as soon as I was allowed to.
Yeah, so we are here in your gym in Hull. How important do you think boxing can be to the local community?
Massive. It's helped me, it's kept me. I was from an area that's probably not the best of areas, but I've never ever been in trouble with the police. I've always lived a good life as well and done things the right way, ate well. I don't drink, don't smoke. Even though I've retired, I think I've had one drink since I've retired. I eat a lot of crap now, but that's about it. But no, yeah, and I think boxing has been a major part of that, and I think that's why my lifestyle's been good, and I've never been into trouble is because of boxing, and I think that's why it's so good for other people and kids, adults as well in the area to keep their mind off it and keep positive and keep healthy.
Is that your sort of mission now, trying to give back to the community?
Yeah, that's one of the biggest reasons why I set up the gym, and I made sure that the gym was set up on my area, on my estate, the place that I grew up, the place where I know everyone, and they came and supported me and bought tickets to my fights, and it's up to me now to deliver to their kids and give their kids a clear path and a future. Hopefully, if it's not in boxing, maybe it's in any other sport, or just keeping them healthy and living a healthier lifestyle and keeping them away from any lads that might mislead them.
So you recently coached your first professional fighter, Ted Jackson, in his debut. That must have been a proud moment for yourself.
Yeah, it was a very proud moment, to be honest. I was nervous all week, nervous fight week, nervous fight night, but I was confident as well. I knew Ted's ability, I knew how good he was, I knew how hard we trained, and I was confident in the fight. I was just nervous at the whole occasion because the last time I was there was when I had my fight. So, and it's my first ever time in a corner, first ever time as a coach. I didn't want to put anything wrong, didn't want to give any wrong instructions, which, to be honest, I don't think I would have done. But there's still pressure there. But yeah, I mean, we're working really well. He's back in camp tomorrow, so I'm looking forward to start training and pushing towards his next fight now.
What are your future ambitions as a coach and trainer?
My future ambitions is to build a great stable of fighters and get them winning titles, Ted being the first. I really want to push on with him and make sure that he goes all the way, because I believe he can. He's my main goal at the minute, to get him as good as I can as a coach. So he's my main target and my main priority.
So to finish off every podcast, I like to ask the same few questions to every guest, starting with, if you could change one thing about boxing, what would it be?
I'd say the matchmaking. I think if I could change boxing, I'd say if you are a big ticket seller, then fair enough, but fight on the small shows. If you're willing to get on Sky, if you've got the opportunity to fight on TV, live on TV, you shouldn't fight a journeyman. If you're willing, if you're good enough to be on the TV, you're good enough to be in a 50-50 fight. And whoever wins that 50-50 fight stays on TV, and that's how it should be.
It's an interesting one, that.
I believe that's how it should be. I think there's a lot of money, a lot of people paying a lot of money to watch proper fights, proper shows. If you're on TV and you're good enough to be on TV, you should be in a 50-50 fight, simple as that. If you're not, and you don't want to be in a 50-50 fight, go on the small shows, sell tickets, and wait till you're good enough. And that's how it should be, I believe.
So, what is one fight in boxing history you wish you could have been ringside to watch?
Oh, in history.
In history.
Gatti Ward.
Gatti Award.
Yeah, it's got to be Gatti Ward on it.
Yeah, we've had a few Gatti Awards, but it's such a good fight that I mean.
Yeah. Gatti Ward.
Who is one fighter from any era you wish you could have fought?
I don't know. Trying to think. Anybody, to be honest. Anyone at the weight. Anyone. I was going to go down to Super Bantam. So I'd like to have fought anyone at Super Bantam. I'd like to have fought Dennis McCann, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'd like to have fought him.
Did you ever spar with Dennis?
No, never. But he's a great fighter and he's a big name, and if you wanna be the best, you've got to get in with people like that. And I think he was probably the most known super bantamweight around. So while I was fighting, so I'd like to have fought him. Yeah.
The YouTube boxing scene has a tag team format. If you had to choose one boxer, past or present, to be your tag team partner, who would it be?
Manny Pacquiao.
Manny Pacquiao. What is one piece of advice you wish you could give to your younger self?
The best advice I'd give to my younger self is be persistent. Be persistent, because sometimes there's been many times where I've been working towards something and I feel like it's never ending, I'm never going to reach it. And you do. There always is light at the end of the tunnel. And I think, like, even with like COVID, I thought I might not even fight again. I did. I got a title fight. I thought I'd never fight on Sky because I was fighting on small shows constantly. I thought I'll never get a big opportunity. I did. And I think if you just grind it out, you know, I thought I'd never be happy in boxing again. I am. I'm happy as a trainer now. When I was told that I won't be able to fight anymore, I thought that's it. What could I do now? I've got no job, no income, nothing. But I started working, got my license, looked for a unit, got my gym, and I was just persistent. So I tell myself to be persistent in whatever I wanted to do, whether it be opening a gym or even a new career path. Sometimes you can say to yourself, right, I don't think I'm going to do it, and that's why a lot of people fail, because they quit. Just be persistent, and you will get there in the end, because everyone does. Everyone gets there if they're persistent.
Coghill, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.